So please find your nice comfortable seat, whether that means you're sitting cross-legged. I'm sitting on a little meditation stool today. You could be sitting cross-legged, you could be kneeling in Vajrasana, or you could be sitting up in a chair, or perhaps today what serves you best is lying in your bed, depending on what time your celebrations for the new year allowed you to rest and get some sleep. So make sure you have a glass of water. Maybe you need some tissues handy. It would be really nice if you made sure your space was quiet and without distraction. So maybe getting rid of any radio noise or something that's going on, shutting off the phone for a few minutes and allowing yourself to come into a beautiful meditative posture, whether it's sitting on the floor, on a stool or in a chair. And just take a few moments to arrange your space. Just sitting quietly for a few minutes to calm down, settle down before we start our guided meditation practice together. Please bring your hands together at the heart in Namaskar Mudra, pressing the palms together in a prayer mudra. To open the practice and to honor the tradition. Namaste, Borada, Luidinawitha, and Happy New Year to everybody who's joining us today. It's 10 a.m. in Wales in the UK, so sometimes I upload these things to YouTube and people don't know what time it is. So there will be some people around the world that are still in the old year, but waiting, I'm sure, with eager hearts for the new year. I'm not going to dwell too much on the past year. We have all had our own personal experiences. We have all been a part of the group experience of COVID-19. And we all have our own stories to share about that and our own grief and suffering, because it has been a year of grief and suffering for many, many people. It's been a year of the worst and the best, because without doubt we have seen people respond in a very positive, caring and loving way to their community, whether it's in healthcare, whether it is neighbors, whether it's friends and loved ones, above and beyond the frustrations of sometimes not being able to be there physically together. I think it's been a year of reflection on what is important in our lives, what are the priorities of living a good, healthy and happy life in peace. So we've all done a fair bit of that, I think, and sometimes we've had to respond in the way we only know how, and that sometimes is fear. So, the COVID pandemic has also created, this fear pandemic, as Dr. Ananda describes it, which is really true, which in itself starts that cycle of anxiety and uncertainty and despair. But coming back to I suppose the suffering has been economic, it has been in relationships, it has been health, it's been mental health. It's even for some people meant adverse conditions like losing their homes, losing their jobs, losing their businesses, which is, a really massive thing to happen within such a short space of time. This tiny virus has turned the world on its head. But it also has slowed us down, and whilst I don't condone a virus that has caused so much suffering and loss and grief and pain, it has also offered us the opportunity to slow down, to not run around in a way that is not mindful, and maybe just, chasing after things and feeling we have to do things and feeling we have to achieve things and always be better, always do more, otherwise we're not good enough, we are something wrong with us if we're not behaving in that way. Even though being on your own, maybe I live on my own, it's been challenging because I'm a very social person. There have also been many benefits of reconsidering the priorities of life and honoring the fact that we are all in a state of adversity together, and from that can come innovation and inspiration and creativity and a renewed feeling of curiosity about what we want to do next and how we want to live our lives. There's never been a moment of my suffering or pain, and it's been a very difficult few years for me. We all have our story. I'm not going into my story, but it just happens to have been a very difficult few years for me personally, with different things going on. But I have learned so much. There's never been a moment of suffering where I haven't emerged from it with recovery, with time, with the grace of love and friends and the divine and my practice of yoga, where I haven't actually grown and evolved. So I think it was also an opportunity for the whole world to take stock and maybe choose a different way of not just living your life, but honoring yourself and the importance of yourself. And self-care, looking after yourself, has become a lot of people's priority, and looking after the loved ones, taking care that they are. My elderly mother is 81, you'd never believe it, because she sparkles and shines still, but of course she's in the vulnerable group, so we've had to love her and support her, but maneuver around those issues of following the guidelines and all those things we've all had to do. Nobody is on their own in this. So moving forward, letting go of what was, living with the reality of what is, because even though we're in the first few hours of a new year, which is wonderful, it's always an opportunity for a fresh start, we can't be blinkered and thinking there won't be ongoing challenges this year. There always are challenges, or we can only guarantee that change will be there, but we can move through it with renewed vigor, maybe with renewed energy, because there's such hope. There is always such a lot of hope, not just linked to COVID and the inoculation, the vaccinations that are going to be rolled out, which is brilliant news, absolutely wonderful news, but hope in lots and lots of different ways, lots of new beginnings. So I'm just going to not dwell on the bad and think of it as a bad thing. I'm going to maybe focus on letting go of the year, in letting go in a way that is positive, that is enriching, letting go with love as opposed to letting go with anger and resentment and disappointment and judgment. Because whatever is going on in our lives or going on in the world, we can add to the suffering with our own feelings of judgment and criticism and resentment and anger. And it's usually based in fear. And COVID has obviously caused a lot of fear. So I like to read from Melody Beattie's affirmations, letting go, the language of letting go. And this one is really particularly lovely to start our practice today. It's about affirming the good, which sometimes we forget to do. Affirming the good. Wait and expect good things for yourself and your loved ones. When you wonder what is coming, tell yourself the best is coming, the very best life and love have to offer, the very best that the divine, the universe, has to send. Then open your hands to receive it. Be willing to receive. Claim it. It is yours, if you so choose. See the best in your mind. Don't believe every thought. Envision what your world will look like, what it will feel like. if you believe that there's nothing wrong with you, that you are enough, focus until you can see it clearly. Let your whole being, body and soul enter into and hold on to the image for a moment. Then let it go. Don't cling, don't grasp, don't attach. Come back into this very present day, this moment. Don't obsess. Don't become fearful. Become excited. Become invigorated. Live today fully, expressing gratitude for all you have been, all you are, and all you will become. Wait and expect good things. So today, when we think about the year ahead, let's focus on the good that is coming. And let's leave 2020 in a very kind of respectful place, because it's had such an impact on all of our lives. But let's just leave it there. Let's take the lessons with us and let's grow from those feelings of suffering and pain. So let's sit up and start our practice. You can refresh your legs, maybe you need to stretch them if you're sitting cross-legged. We will be meditating for about 15 minutes. And remembering that meditation is a state of being, not really a state of doing something. We are going to be guided, or I'm going to guide, and you are going to allow yourself to just receive in this moment. So sitting up with a nice erect spine, with the sit bones pressing into the floor, the heels or the chair, however you are sitting. Allow the energy to settle. You can close your eyes. Hands can just be linked together. You don't need to assume a particular mudra or hand gesture. You can place the palms of the hands on the thighs if you like to. And let yourself just breathe in through the nostrils. Maybe you need to sigh a couple of times. We can do it together. Breathing in. Sigh it out, let it go. Breathing in and sigh it out. I want you to feel that you are in receipt of something nice, something good. Allow yourself to dwell in it. Allow yourself to accept. Beautiful erect spine rising up. Open chest. Broaden the collarbones, soften the heart. Allow the breath to come in through the nostrils, through the very center of each nostril. And allow it to gently flow out. If you feel you need to sigh some more and let go of any tension by breathing out through the mouth, that's fine, perfectly fine. Allow the crown of the head to rise up, but don't hold yourself in a stiff and rigid way. Allow the sit bones to sink further down so you are perfectly rooted to the floor or the chair. Allow the breath to normalize and quieten and soften. Allow yourself to feel the aliveness in the body. So we are sitting quietly, we are in stillness, but we are totally aware that there is an aliveness in the body. So without using your mind to remind you you're still breathing, see what you can feel. What do you feel in the feet? Maybe around the ankles, the calves, around the knee joint, the thigh bones. What aliveness do you feel? What lets you know that you have feet and ankles and shins and knees and thighs, if you are blessed with them? Not everybody is. What lets you know that they are there? What can you feel? Is there a tingling sensation? Is there a heaviness? Is there a groundedness as you sit on the floor? Or do you feel that you could wobble? Try and grind down right through the chair or onto the floor so you feel as though you are rooted like a tree. You are grounded in the earth. The lower energies of the body are grounded in the earth, keeping you stable, keeping you safe, providing you with a strong foundation. The energy around the pelvis. Is there ease there? Is there tightness? Is there pain? Just noticing how you feel in your body. In the belly. Do you wake with anxiety in the belly? Is there an unsettled feeling there? Just noticing it for now. Or is there a feeling of comfort now? A feeling of satisfaction? A feeling of relief? Your spine is erect. It can't be straight, it's got natural curves, but you want to feel the spine rising up without becoming rigid. The inhalation creates more space between the vertebrae as the energetic body rises up. We are beings of energy. We are beings of energy. We are not just the dense matter of tissue and blood and bones and skin and organs and a brain and hair and all those things. We are energetic beings. Notice how when you breathe in, you lengthen your spine, you take the energy from the lower areas of the body up the spine to your plane of higher consciousness, always raising the energy upwards. Notice the heart, the tightness maybe around the heart. Maybe it feels free, open, vulnerable. Maybe it feels raw, or maybe it's tired and exhausted. Just noticing. Shoulder blades softly gliding down the back of your body. Let there be a lot of space between the top of the shoulders and the earlobes, lengthening through the neck. You're just breathing normally and easily in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils. You can change your seat to suit your needs at any time. You can't be still and mindful if you're in discomfort for any length of time. Notice the length of your arms, not by looking at them, but by feeling them from the inside out. They say happiness is an inside out job, so is yoga. It's inside out. Long upper arms, soft elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, the palms. Notice the palms of your hands. The outside of your hands, the fingers. Let the fingers just curl. Don't hold them in a straight position. Don't press down, just allow everything to be light and free. Bring the attention again to the chest area and see with your mind's eye if you can broaden the collarbones more, just with the focus. See if you can broaden the collarbones more. As you breathe in, notice the ribs if they're opening forward, side and back. Just noticing how the ribs move to accommodate the lungs. How the diaphragm moves up and down. All of this happening every single moment of your life without you having to give it any direct instruction. So in yoga we are looking to not survive but to thrive. So we don't just want to survive, we want to thrive. So we move from the unconscious or the survival mechanism in the brain to the conscious brain, to the discernment, to the choice. And I know our choices may have been limited recently, our external choices of what we can and can't do. But we always have a choice in how we approach and respond to that. Strong back, soft front, long neck. Every inhalation bringing in prana, life force, increasing your energy. Every exhalation getting rid of dullness, inertia, burden, grief, sorrow. Just allow yourself to recover for a moment in your meditation. Bringing in healing and kindness and gratitude and self-care and honor for you and your life. Bring that energy in on the breath and allow the breath to take away the dullness, the fear, the sorrow, the anxiety, the fatigue and the exhaustion. Allow it to melt away from your body. Taking the attention to the crown of the head. Again, an upward surge of energy on the inhalation, allowing the crown of the head to go beyond the physical realm. So you feel as though the energy above you, above the crown of the head, is extending further up. So you exist beyond the end of your physical form. Your energy is really reaching up to the heavens, to the cosmos. Feeling the way that affects the body. Broad collarbones, strong back, soft front, open heart. Trying not to dissociate the heart from your feelings. Even at times when those feelings are challenging and you think they are bad. They're not bad, they are feelings that need to be felt and worked through and released, because they will change. Bringing the attention now again to the base of the body, to the base of the body. You can think about the tailbone, or the area of the pelvic floor. Breathe into that area. Bring the attention there. And fill it with a robust strength, a stability, a posture of confidence, a feeling of strength and confidence from your root area, your root chakra, your area of survival, the lower body. Allow that feeling of strength and stability to rise up into the pelvic area. So you're strong like a mountain, you're strong like a tree. You are rooted in the earth, you are rooted in the earth. Rising up through the belly, the solar plexus, filling yourself with strength and confidence, with resilience, with a strong feeling that you are enough. You are enough. Up towards the heart area, around the chest. Breathe into that heart area, the way we feel our pain, our emotional pain, the way we feel our joy, our happiness. Fill it up with beautiful, beautiful, positive energy. As you inhale, fill it up and let it shine forth. And as you exhale, let the heart relax. Don't hold it so tight, it's not going to go anywhere. Let it relax. Loosen the strings of the heart. Allow it to grow and fill and shine up. Bring the energy further up to the throat. So many words have been spoken last year. We have heard other people speak so many words. Some of the establishments, the institutions, that's all they've done is talk, and sometimes we know it's been nonsense. Were there things that you said too much, too often? Were you too critical of yourself and others? Did you complain too much? Are you whinging about the situation constantly? Were you always commentating when maybe a few moments silence would have been better? Your self-talk. Are you always bringing yourself down? Or do you rely on untruths because you just don't feel worthy? Looking at how we communicate. Looking at the value of words and how they are devalued when they are meaningless. Looking at how we can communicate in a more mindful way. Sometimes choosing silence, sometimes actually expressing ourselves because we don't feel normally we can express ourselves. Cutting remarks sometimes, anger, profanities. Not saying these are good or bad, just allowing ourselves to focus on our own individual center of communication, how we express to others and to ourselves internally. moving up to the area between the brow. Our center of looking in, self-reflection, consciousness, intuition, self-study, looking at the truth. Nobody knows what we look at except us. Maybe we are afraid. Maybe you are afraid to look ourselves. Maybe you are a bit worried that if we did look and we shared what we saw, we would lose people, we would be abandoned. Or maybe our truth needs to be shared. Maybe we hold back because of self-doubt. When we have something beautiful to share from inside, we might hold back. So just for you as an individual, because we are all unique, considering, do we need to self-reflect more? Do we need to not point the finger but point it towards ourselves? Do we need to think, no, we are not got lots of problems, we are the problem, as Dr. Ananda reminds us of, Swami Gitananda. There is no problem, you are the problem. Maybe that's true sometimes. Not always, but worth considering now and again. And up to the crown. We want to connect, we want to merge with the divine consciousness. We want to go beyond the duality of us and them, what's different, who says this, who's good, who's bad, who's nice, who's not nice, who's fat, who's thin, you know, who can, you know, sing wonderfully, who can't, all these things. I don't know, there's so many things. So moving beyond those dichotomies, those dualities, into unity, into oneness. Into valuing everyone the same as ourselves. Into yoga. There's a lovely thing Nikki Slade said in one of the chants, when I was training with her. It's such a beautiful thing, I will never forget it. My heart is your heart, and your heart is my heart. Beautiful thing to remember when we are considering somebody is beneath us. Or in Namaskar, beautiful gesture. Namaskar, the divine in me sees the divine in you. And let go with the focus on the crown and come back into your body. The whole body. Strong, robust, confident base. Strong back, supporting you, not physically, just, not only physically, certainly, but allowing you to have a strong backbone, to face what you have to face, to accept the reality, and to accept that with the grace of the divine, you will be fine. Opening your heart, opening your chest, breathing deeply. Occupying your whole body from the tips of your toes up to the crown, every hair on your head and beyond. Remembering that every breath can change your life. can change your life, to breathe consciously and mindfully. When you were born, you breathed for the first time and you probably screamed. And when you leave your body, you will breathe out for the last time. So remembering that breathing in brings in life, brings in energy, brings in positivity, brings in a fresh start. And every exhalation you can let go. And start to come back. Maybe you want to wiggle your fingers. You can open your eyes if you like to. Just wiggling your fingers. Maybe you want to shake your wrists. Maybe you want to gently do some head rolls, being very gentle with yourself. Maybe if you haven't done any physical practice or anything yet today, just a few head rolls, just to ease out the vertebrae, ease the neck. I'm going to release my legs and just bounce my legs out a little bit. So releasing the legs, maybe you need to give them a little rub. And come back to sitting just for a moment. And I'm just going to read you a poem to finish, and we will chant 3 Oms to finish our practice completely. I did read a poem from John O'Donoghue's Benedictus, which is a book of blessings and poetry. And you can just sit quietly, lie down if you prefer to lie down, if you need to rest for a moment. I read one for the winter solstice, and he's actually got a really beautiful one for the new year. So I will read you this. A New Year blessing. On the day when the weight deadens on your shoulders and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the grey window and the ghost of loss gets into you, may a flock of colours, indigo, red, green and azure blue, come to awaken in you a meadow of delight. When the canvas frays in the currach of thought and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so, may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. And I think that's so beautiful. I particularly like the words, and so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. I think that's so beautiful. If anybody's interested, you'll be able to get his book, or it's probably going back to Frontier, but Benedictus, John O'Donoghue, you can get it on Amazon, and there's a blessing for every occasion, and they can be very comforting. And that invisible cloak for me is my practice of yoga. Nobody can see it, but it's always there. And it can always be there for you in so many ways. Yoga is life. It's nothing to do with standing on your head and putting your foot behind your head. It's a perfect blueprint for living a peaceful, healthy and connected life, a very connected life. So we will finish with 3 Oms. So please sit. You can either just listen or you can join in. Hopefully you'll join in. And as we breathe in, we're thinking of breathing into the lower, mid, then upper lobes. Okay? Lower, mid and upper. Don't worry about the sound of the Om. You are linking with your divine purpose and the cosmos. It really doesn't matter if it's in tune. Okay. So let's sit with a nice erect spine, a nice soft shoulders, a really broad chest. Nice room for the ribs. Just sit for a moment. Please draw your hands together. We're just going to breathe out together through the mouth. Breathe in. Breathe in. Last time, breathe in. Bow your head towards your fingers. Breathe in, raise the head and drop the hands. So thank you so much for joining me. There was so much you could say, so much that has been said, and I think we just need to keep it simple. And we just, as always, as is the tradition of Gitananda, we do our best and we leave the rest. That's all anyone can ask of us. Just do your best and leave the rest. I will be here on Sunday morning with the physical practice, returning to my caring is sharing every Sunday morning at 9:30. We will do a nice physical practice to bring some nice new energy into the body, and I'm starting Zoom classes over a 6-week course at 6:30 on Monday evening. So you can message me if you want to be a part of that. Some people have jumped on, which I'm really grateful for. I would like to thank everybody who has supported me this year by turning up for lessons. I've done a lot of voluntary stuff. I was studying a lot in 2020, and my studies continue into 2021 with my yoga therapy probably finishing in the summer, and my other studies with Dr. Ananda ongoing, just ongoing, because I can't let him go. I'm going to keep on to it, which I need to look at the attachment of that. So I will carry on with the Sunday, and then I'm kind of moving towards the yoga therapy as the year progresses. God bless you all. I love you all, and thank you very, very much for your support in 2020. Happy New Year!